crossed. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back for another virtual episode of Red Wine and Chaos. Laura and I are virtual. You are probably not. But Laura is in Florida for the week for work.
Mm-hmm. But I'm still here.
Enjoying all that Florida has to offer, including its spiciness.
It's spicy. I got off the plane and was like, shit, you could cut this with a knife. It is hot.
Gross. I mean, like, I'm ready for the warmer weather, but I don't like being thrusted into it like that. Like when you get off a plane and it's just like you can taste the air.
Yeah, you can taste it. Yeah. Well, so, and Florida heat in this time of year is fucking crazy. It's not like Michigan summer heat. Florida heat right now is horrendous. And it's going to be 92 tomorrow. I will be in a meeting room, 99% of the day, so it doesn't really matter. I'm actually going to be freezing all day, so I'll be, dressed appropriately because that's what always happens to me in these meetings. But I was standing here. I was like, you should see me. I was like a little kid. I have the prettiest view of the pool, and I'm standing here, like looking out the window, longingly want to go down to the pool. And I did have time today, but like I was, we got up to my room, we got in, and then had some lunch because we hadn't eaten yet. And then Missy, she had to drive in, so Katie and I met up with her, and we were catching up and talking work and talking shop, and and then by that time it was 3:30, 4 o'clock, and so then we're gonna have dinner later or whatever. So came upstairs to kind of, unpack and get settled or whatever. And I'm like looking down, it's all these people having fun in the pool with their cocktails. And I knew we were going to potentially go to dinner at 7:30. And I knew neither of them were interested. I might have been able to talk Missy into going, but I didn't try. But because the last time when we went to Dallas, they had a really great pool area too. And my dumbass didn't take my bathing suit. So I came prepared this time. I just bought a new bathing suit.
You did?
I did. Oh, I did. It's really cute. I have to show it to you. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it from Amazon. It's really cute.
Nice.
And so, anyways, so I'm like, oh, maybe I should go down to the pool. I got time. I got a couple hours and go down there for an hour. Then I'm like, I didn't bring sunscreen. And I knew I could hear you. I know I could hear you. I probably could have gotten some in like the hotel and the little store or something. But I could hear you in my head because I was like, well, I'll only be down there and I'll sit in the shaded area. But Florida sun is intense. It's different. And I was like, man, she gonna be if I come back burned.
Don't come back with a sunburn.
Right. I'll be called out instantaneously. But I literally was like a child. So then they started setting up a really cool reception on the other side at the other pool for a conference that's here, which is all as an event planner, I'm watching to see all the different opportunities that we could potentially do. And that was a really cool setup, and they had some cool stuff going on down there. But I was like a little kid in the window, like, I just want to go play in the water.
Somebody play with me.
Yeah, but I never made it out there. But so then I come up from dinner, and I did not. So I just looked down there, and there's still people down there. I don't know what time the pool closes, the outdoor pool, but it's still open. People are there chilling. I thought, and I was like, no, I got to record my podcast. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow night, though. Maybe I could have done it from the pool.
That would have made for some interesting conversation.
It would have. Maybe I could have found a guest.
Ooh.
Hey, you come here.
Did you ever watch that show? What is that? Something on the Streets. Billy on the Streets. Did you ever? So this Billy, not Billy Porter. That's not right. Billy something. I can't remember his last name, but he grabs a celebrity and he's carrying like a microphone and he runs through the streets of New York and they're like, what's your favorite Paul Rudd movie? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And they're like, and Paul Rudd's like with him. And he like runs up to these random strangers and he gets like right in their face and he's like, do you think Jennifer Lawrence is hot? And they're like, who's Jennifer Lawrence? And he's like, oh, never mind. And he like runs away. It's pretty funny. I don't think it's on anymore, but
do you like Letterman? Do you like David Letterman?
Can't tell you the last time I watched David Letterman.
Yeah, because I don't know if he even still has a show anymore.
Yeah.
But so last night while I'm laying in bed, like late and should have been in bed and asleep, I turned on the TV. But you know me, I can't fall asleep till late. So a new show on Netflix is
I thought he was on Netflix. Had a show.
yeah. So this next guest needs no introduction,
Yeah.
and it's called that because that's what he used to always say when the guests
Yeah.
would come on the late night show. I happen to really like Letterman.
I don't hate him at all. I think he's great.
I think he's hysterical. I just like his delivery. It's dry, and so that's my type of dude. You know, I just think he's funny, and his delivery is really good. But he's also seems to be a very caring person. So, anyways, he's bringing on all these different celebrities in every episode. And I just happened to turn because the Cardi B one is the one that's the trailer on Netflix, and so I happened to turn it on, and it was hysterical. And I just because I mean, what do Letterman and Cardi B have in common? Probably not a ton.
Right.
And so to watch him interact and then just be homies and have these conversations, it was really cool. And I was halfway through it. I'm like, I need to turn this off. It is 11:30 and I have to get up at 5:30. And I'm still up here just watching it. And I forced myself to turn it off, but I'm going to see if I can get my Netflix on here and figure it out before I go to bed next night.
Like the second season of that. I feel like it's been on for a minute.
I don't know if it is. I've never seen it before. So.
I knew about it, but I didn't know if that was like first season or if I'm not sure.
I didn't see that it had multiple seasons, but I could be wrong. But anyways, he got a whole lineup of good guests that I'd be interested in watching him talk to. And so I was like, oh, that's gonna be good. That's gonna I like it. So it was cool. It was so. Anyways, that's what that. Yeah, if I went too bad, David Letterman's not here.
Yeah, well, next time we have to do these virtually, and you're at a conference, I'm gonna need you to do it from the pool.
Yeah. I should have done it with fucking Vince, our server. He was a hoot. He was like, I was like, which deserves the best? None of them. They're all gross. I'm like, and he was like, don't mark on the card that I'm not a good salesman. I'm like, I appreciate your honesty. Like, that's all I can say. Listen, I worked in the business. I appreciate your honesty. He was very forthcoming about what not to order in that restaurant. But he told me not to order the salmon, and I ordered it anyways, and I regretted it.
Well, there's always tomorrow.
How do you fuck up salmon? I can tell you how you fuck up salmon. You overcook it, first of all, and it's dry and it crumbles. And then you serve it.
Season it well. And
then there was no seasoning. It literally came out. I said to Missy, I said, oh my God. I said, there's nothing that pisses me off more when you send out a piece of, and it was a nice piece of salmon though, and you didn't put any, it's fucking dry as a bone. You didn't put any goddamn seasoning on it. And it doesn't require a lot. Just a little peppercorn and salt or something. Oh my God, people. And you in this beautiful fucking hotel and you can't get a piece of salmon. Like, that is concerning. So anyways. Not to shit on this property. This property is absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of really great things about it. But the Italian restaurant was not it.
Not one of them.
No.
No.
So if you're visiting the Rose and Shingle Creek in Florida, which I absolutely recommend that you do for a number of things. One, if you like to golf, girl, the golf course over here, crazy, beautiful, amazing. And I'm looking, overlooking it right now. Beautiful golf course. Second, it's independently owned. By a man named Mr. Rosen. I know you're surprised because it's called the Rosen Shingle Creek. And Mr. Rosen owns a number of properties within the area, all within a 20-mile radius, I believe. This is by far the nicest property. And it's one of those where you drive up, you pull in, and you got to go through a gate. And then you go down. Yeah, it's like one of those it's beautiful. It's a beautiful hotel. It's very, very nice. And their meeting space, not that anybody else looks at it this way, but their meeting space is perfect. It's very, very nice, very well done. But they boast about having a lot of food and beverage outlets, and not impressed.
I feel like we have, and I say we because I'm not on that trip with you, but I'm still going to say we have struck out with Italian restaurants on vacation. I feel like we should just not go to those anymore.
No, you shouldn't. Although tomorrow is a whole different story. I'm going to that. So and tomorrow it's called Vitos Chop House. So it's a steakhouse, but it's an Italian steakhouse. It's Vitos. You know what I'm saying? It's Vitos.
So it's still rooted in the steakhouse. It's not rooted in the Italian.
Correct. But they do homemade pastas.
I mean, fantastic.
They bring out a giant Parmesan wheel and they light that bitch on fire and melt it. and take this delicious homemade pasta and toss it in this flaming cheese.
Fantastic.
It is.
Nobody who's mad about that.
You can't be. It melted in my mouth. It was phenomenal. Every piece. So I get to go there tomorrow. So that would be the only. I highly recommend that. And ask for Michael. He's the server. I requested him again.
Did you?
Yes. And he's like, you'd think he was from like the Bronx or from Boston or something. And I can't remember where he told us he was from. He's related, small world, related to a girl I went to high school with. It's her husband's uncle. She commented on the photo from the last time I was here. And she was like, that's Michael's so-and-so. That's Justin's uncle. And I'm like, holy shit. And he just is so knowledgeable. And he was so cool. Knew it all. Anyways, great wine list, great food. Vitos Chop House in Orlando. They actually have other establishments as well around the country that isn't a Vitos, but it's in the family. So look it up. If you're traveling, if you're in Orlando, check that out. If you're not, we have other establishments that I'm sure are wonderful.
So speaking of dinner, you don't have a cocktail in front of you, but you were going to rate your dessert that you had at the restaurant, right?
It's because I drank it.
So, it's already gone.
So I thought about getting something to bring up here, but I could give you a standard. I had the house Pinot Noir because that is what I had with my meal, and it was good. Obviously, no problems with that. But I had our wonderful server Vince told us that the desserts were trash. They got rid of his favorite dessert and to not get dessert because we were looking at desserts. And so I said, well, do you have dessert drinks? Because a lot of times they'll have a nice dessert drink menu. And he was like, well, I could do like an espresso martini. And I'm like, well, I can't have espresso because I'll be up all night because I'm an old bitch. Super sensitive to caffeine. And he was like, no, I can do you a decaf espresso. I'll make it fresh. And I'm like, oh, perfect. Yes, let's do that. And it was probably, I'm not going to lie to you, it was one of the better espresso martinis I've had because I've had them because we get them a lot. Like that's Missy's thing. There's either an espresso or if they do a chocolate martini. That's usually what we do dessert. We don't. I will be getting dessert tomorrow though because they have key lime pie at this Vito. Ashley,
my favorite.
It is the best key lime pie I've ever had. If I could box it up and bring it home, I would.
Thank you for thinking of me.
Oh, it's so good. But anyways, so this espresso martini was fantastic. It wasn't too strong. It was like the perfect mix of it all. And I gave it a 3. And he was like, was that good? I was like, that was the best part of my meal because the rest of it was trash. I didn't say that, but the rest was trash. But so I gave I gave that espresso martini 3 clinks and 3
good way to end your bland dinner.
Yep. Thank God something saved it.
I did not open a bottle of wine because I am still kind of recovering from being sick.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, and I didn't want to waste a bottle of wine in case, because sometimes like when you're sick still, like things don't taste good and they don't sound good. And
right.
I can't, like my nose is pretty stuffy. So, I mean, I can taste things, but
not like your palate's not.
So I didn't want to open a bottle of wine to waste it. So I opened another one of those Topo Chicos, the hard seltzer ones, and I opened the tropical pineapple. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I love it. I love anything pineapple for the most part.
It's pretty good, and it tastes good. Like it's fizzy, so it feels good on my throat because I'm sick.
Soothing.
Yeah, and it's cold, which is nice, and the alcohol is gonna help me sleep. So, like win.
Well, that's a 3 cheers.
3 cheers for me too for this little cold fizzy beverage.
Again, folks, we're not always going to go with the wine, especially this time of year, because when it's spicy outside. Although I did have wine, it was nice. I had wine with my dinner, but I probably would have.
I feel like it's different when you're inside at at dinner or something.
Yeah. Oh, and it was fucking freezing inside. Of course, I was sitting there, freezing per usual. But
nobody's surprised by that.
No, I wanted to be outside at the pool with a lovely cocktail.
There's always tomorrow.
I don't know if I'm gonna get out there. Maybe tomorrow night after dinner, but then I'm gonna come back here like this waddling. They're gonna have to roll me back into this hotel because I'm gonna eat all the things at dinner to make up for today. I'm not gonna leave anything on the table.
I'm sorry, is that one single Brussels sprout? Because I'm gonna eat it. You left some pasta. Don't take that plate.
Man, if we can do a live show from Vitos and like just do a whole food review, do a food and drink review from there. Oh my God, girl.
Well, goals.
Yeah. Like that charcuterie party that that's such a fantastic idea. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So we kind of talking about what to do for today's episode, and it's a heavy day in the world today. It's been a heavy couple weeks in the world. But today in particular, as mothers of young kids who are in elementary school, I don't know if I would hope that most of you listening are aware that there was another mass school shooting today. Last I read, 14 children died and 1 teacher. And it is it's pretty hard to put into words like all of the things that I think and that I feel, and that like the anxiousness and the fearfulness, like that kind of washes over you as a mother with young children at any age, I'm sure. But as a mom who sends her kid to an elementary school, to think that is like, I even hate to say it, but like it almost feels like it's becoming common.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, we had fire drills, we had tornado drills, we didn't have, well, at least I didn't, and I don't speak for you, I could be wrong, but did you have active shooter drills at your school?
Right. I did not.
And so our children at this age are actually going through drills at school to be prepared to know what to do in case of an active shooting. And I remember when LeVar first told me that they were doing that, and I had gotten the email, but to think that is where we are at is so sad, and it is so terrifying. And so it hit me in my gut. I mean, I was already, so in addition to the active shooting that happened today, there was the shooting in Buffalo that happened earlier this last week.
Yeah.
And 10 people were killed, and that was a hate crime. That was deemed a hate crime. That was a racially motivated killing. A white male went and sought out that particular grocery store with the intent to go in and take the lives of Black people, and wrote a 180-page manifesto of his plan and what he was going to do. And it's crazy because it's so far from the life that I know. I lived as a child growing up, and then it just seems to, it's a lot for me. I am a white woman living in this world, but I am raising a Black child, and so there is absolute fear in my heart for my son on a daily basis, But when you think about it, personally, when I think about it, I think more about it as he gets older, right? So it's like, what is the perception of him going to be to the world? What we know is that it's going to be a struggle for him, because that is the reality of the world that we live in now. And so is he going to be deemed a threat? As he's a bigger kid, is he going to be deemed a threat? And so I was thinking about all of that last week when this happened in Buffalo. And I'm like, oh my God, he's getting older and he's turning the corner. And then to then hear, and that, and the focus on that was, that was like I said, a racial hate crime. So then to turn the corner and to hear that an 18-year-old man, human, whatever, undeserving of even whatever term we're going to call this person, opened fire on an elementary school, taking lives of 14 children. It's fucking terrifying to think that we can send our kids to school where it's supposed to be a place of peace, of growth, of journey, of life, of lifelong memories, things that you take on for the rest of your life. And to genuinely be terrified of what that outcome could possibly look like. And I say to LeVar, because we have these conversations, we listen to the news together on the way to school in the morning on the radio, and he heard the buff. I wasn't with him today, obviously, because I'm here, but he heard of what happened in Buffalo. And obviously him and I have had many of conversations before that anyways, based on, things that he's going to experience growing up. But to say, well, we live in a safe neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And I've actually said that statement before. And I'm like, well, there's bad everywhere, and you never know, but we live in a safe neighborhood. The chance of that happening. This was a town in Texas, and I don't know the population. I don't know anything about the town, but it could be anywhere. It could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
It happened in our community. We had a mass shooting, one of the most recorded, largest ones in years, back when the Uber driver, what was that, 5 years ago, 6 years ago? I don't even remember. And went on a shooting spree in our fucking town. Yeah. So to say, oh, we live in it's the likeliness of happening here. It's like I haven't. It fucking did.
Yeah. It's like I think that is a testament to go back to that. Like it's becoming this commonplace. It's a real life thing that. Have you ever talked to Oliver or LeVar about what they do for their active shooter drills?
Yes.
So I talked to Oliver about it a lot because he, when I ask him what he did in school today, that's like whenever they have those, that's the one thing he can remember. 99.9% of the time he's like, I don't know what I did in school today. But every time there's an active shooter drill, he remembers. And they're teaching them to like hide in the corner and then throw things because that's all they have to try to deflect, distract, like it just is. It shouldn't be one more thing that kids have to remember. It shouldn't be a fire and a tornado. Those are natural disasters, right? I mean, I know a fire can be arson, but more than likely it's a natural occurring disaster. It's not malicious. It's not the intent. Somebody's not coming in and throwing like, not kerosene, but like they're not throwing gasoline into the school and then lighting it on fire in hopes to burn it up. At least I don't think they are. They very well could. I don't know. But more often than not, like fire and tornado, those are natural disasters. Those are things just that you should be prepared for, and we talk about it at home. Like, okay, Oliver, if the house is on fire, where do you go? What do you do? How do you get out? Like, we talk about that kind of stuff at home, but
sure. An emergency preparedness plan.
It shouldn't, active shooter drills shouldn't be one more thing that these kids need to remember.
And schools shouldn't be a place that they are fearful to go. I never in a million years was I scared to go to my school. Wasn't anything I ever thought of. Wasn't anything I ever even exposed to it at our age. And so, in addition to that, child abduction, in like and trafficking and stuff, like if it's not one thing, it's another. And so when I talk about with people, I'm not somebody who like is like, oh, I'm not like doom and gloom. I'm
Yeah,
not
you're
like
not fearful. You're not.
yeah, no, like I live my life and stuff, but I will say, like, I am genuinely like concerned about the direction that we are heading in, like I mean, for a number of reasons, but I mean just for the regard for human life, like,
Yeah.
and I'm talking whether it's death and killing versus just the way folks treat people. I talk about that oftentimes, like if I'm hearing somebody tell me about how this person did this to them, or I think of some of my own life experiences, or I think about like or I question like how could that person like do that, like why the fuck would they, like why you don't care about people. It's like and I've said this out loud. I've probably said it to you, I've said it to a number of people, but I know it's like I don't have faith in the human race much anymore. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that it's all bad, and there's a lot of really bright spots, and I'm not trying to hang on to all the negativity, but this is the reality that we fucking live in. And I think that based on what we're living right now, what is it going to look like when our children are our age? What is the world going to look like? What do their futures look like?
And I
what
think
are they going to tell their kids?
It's scary to think as a mother that is the reality.
And there are people our age who, or maybe a little bit younger. I mean, we're here, but who are not yet parents.
Yeah.
Who are like, I don't know if I want to bring a child into this world.
You cannot pay me enough to bring a child into this world.
Think about it. Mm-mm. Like the way everything is going, the disregard that human beings have for each other, it's terrifying. Nobody gives a fuck
about anyone.
The person next to them.
No.
Oftentimes it's too often that everybody is out for themselves, and it is fucking terrifying that to think that I the thing I think that hits me the hardest when we talk about what happened today in Texas, I cannot even, and it makes me a little bit, I cannot even imagine what those children were feeling in that moment, what they went through, and what the rest of their lives are going to look like, and how that will forever impact them. There are going to be numerous children that have PTSD who will never live normal lives ever again.
Their childhood was stripped of them today.
Completely.
They lost their childhood in an instant.
And so what's the resolution? What's the resolution? Everything is so political based on gun laws and everything else. What is the fucking resolution? And do I think we need to crack down on gun laws? Yeah, probably fucking so. At least psych evals or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't know what the answer is. But what my fear is that I don't give a fuck if you hunker down on some of the gun laws. It's not going to fix humans and the way that people are acting. And so what's the resolution?
And I think that that's a really great question. And I don't know that there is a resolution, because you can't fix people, right? But for me, I would like to just see some sort of forward step. Mm-hmm. Just give me something. Give me some, as a mother in this day and age, like give me hope that you care about the children of this world, the people of this world in some way, shape, or form, that maybe it's not so easy for the people you can't fix to kill my child at school.
Right. And like you said, a forward step, even if it's not the answer, even if it doesn't fix it all, at least something is changing. How many more of these have to happen? How many more lives have to be lost? And how many more mass shootings do we have to fucking happen before somebody says, oh, okay, maybe we should take a look and see if there's something we can do.
Maybe we hit our quota.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Did
just
we bury enough bodies? Yeah.
I don't, and you know, I saw a comment today I saw on TikTok, you're fine. It's fine. John just came in and he's like gingerly pulling the sheet back into place and like gingerly sitting on the bed.
Well, he's a ginger.
He's a ginge. He's a ginge.
Ginger ass is gingerly moving.
He just laughed silently when you said that. But I watched Kat from Cat and Nat posted a TikTok today, and they're Canadian. And she was like, I don't know if this is my place to ask this or say this, but like, I don't understand what's happening in America. I don't get it. I don't get why this continues to happen. I don't know why it's still happening, and I don't know why it's going to keep happening tomorrow. Like,
does that same shit happen in Canada?
No, and that's why she was like, I don't understand what happens with your mass shootings. I don't understand what happens, why your healthcare is the way that it is. I don't understand. She's like, I don't get it. And I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't. And I just don't understand why that keeps happening. And I'm scrolling through the comments because I'm curious to see. I'm a comment whore. So like, I'm curious to see what everyone says.
I always do. That's where I get a lot of my statistical facts come from. Whether they're true or not, I don't know. But I'll be like,
read them.
You know, so I read that in the comments.
I took it to the comments, and every single person in there, now they're following is women in their 30s and 40s,
sure,
mothers, but they were all like, girl, we don't get it either, and I'm American. I don't get why it keeps happening either, and I'm American. And it just was pretty, like, you know, one of them was like, I don't know when enough is going to be enough. Mm-mm. Like, when is that? When is fighting all of these abortion laws more important than just doing something to help the children now?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just
because I mean, yeah, we have everything just completely under control here in the United States of America, where we're going through a whole fucking formula shortage right now, and people can't feed their babies.
Right. But let's force them to have babies.
Yes, let's make sure that we lock these motherfuckers down.
One of the comments in there was like, you know, Biden needs to stop sending money to Ukraine and blah, 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 and hire more police officers and social workers and first responders. That's not, I don't know that that's the solution.
Guess what, folks? These mass shootings didn't just start during Biden's presidency.
No, and they don't happen where police hang out.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. That's not going to change it.
They're not going like, oh, great, there's 4 police officers right here at this supermarket, so I think that's where I'm going to go today. That's not what's happening.
And the folks who are against, you know, and the folks that are calling for some reform when it comes to the gun laws are not saying those who are responsible can no longer have guns. They're going to come in and take all your guns. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's asking for that. It's like, what can we do? What can we change with the existing stuff we have in place now that can potentially help? And again, I don't know if that's the answer. I don't have the answer. I don't know what the fuck. Again,
I'm curious to know or to see, or like all of these people, like all of these mass shootings have a shooter. And so has anybody kind of walked that back and said, because this is where my mind goes, because
where they get their gun?
I analytically think like that, right? Like, okay, so here's the shooter. Where did they get their gun? Did they get it from a parent? Did they get it on their own? Did they get it illegally off the streets? Like, where did they get this gun? What do these people have in common? Is there some kind of like common mental capacity or lack thereof, like within this terrible community of mass shooters? Is there something that connects them, right? And so like here's the patterns that we're seeing, and so here are the steps we're going to take to try to mitigate these patterns. Like,
Right.
is anybody doing that? Are those
Well,
conversations being had? Do I
so
need to have a conversation with somebody because I just am trying to crack a code? Like, what is happening?
a number of the extremists, like the gentleman, that is not the right terminology, like the fuckhead who shot up Buffalo.
Better.
Yeah. He was part of a number of extremist groups, and so there's this freedom and a right to freedom of speech, which is so fucking important that we have, America is set on all these principles, and we're going to have this and free, the home of the fucking free and all this. Oh, that's really working well for us. We're just nailing this whole life thing here in the United States of great old America. And so how is it though? Because you can get blocked on Facebook or whatever, or banned from Facebook, or in Facebook jail for a couple days or 30 days or whatever for doing some non-relevant shit, for saying the wrong thing. Sure. How are we not a little bit more cracked down on some of these? There are folks that can crack anything on the internet. Some of this dark web stuff or these underground groups. How is there not more movement looking into that type of stuff to prevent some of this from happening? If this kid created a whole 180-page manifesto, and I believe from what I read, I don't know when he posted it, but he posted it somewhere. It was put out there somehow, some way. That's how they found it. Is there not anything being done to like look into these groups or some of these things in advance that could potentially in any way, shape, or form prevent it? I mean, we use the internet, such a powerful tool. Yeah. Technology is so powerful this day and age. These people that do this type of shit want that. They also want that recognition. That's why he wrote 180-page. Yeah. He wanted to feel some type of way about what the fuck he was about to do. So in addition to psych evals for folks who are buying guns, which I think that is something, or somehow, some way, something, depending on what their record looks like, all the things. I don't know what the answer is for the gun laws. I don't know enough about it to know. What I do know is we're not doing anything. What are we doing? What are we doing to prevent this shit from happening? There's nothing being done. So like you said, seeing a step, what is that step? Where could we start?
It's such a big question. And but
it would be nice to see some sort of movement.
Yeah. And somebody out there has the ideas, and I think there's a lot of people out there that have ideas on what that step might look like, but none of them, unfortunately, will be taken seriously. None of them will probably even be heard because it's not coming from the right mouths.
And I feel like to the folks who feel like their rights or their freedoms would be, in question or in jeopardy, would you feel the same way if it happened to be your kid's school that got shot up and the child that was lost was your child's life? Right. And that's not to take away your rights or your freedoms. That's to enhance what's in place to try to prevent more of the shit from happening. And sometimes you have to sacrifice for the greater fucking good.
But I think
that's the problem.
I think that's the problem. You and I feel that way, and we raise our children that way, but you said it earlier, that's not how other people think. Nobody has any empathy for anyone, and nobody
looks out for their fellow person.
No, and they don't care to learn. They don't care to see something from another perspective. They don't even care to listen, which is, you can't have freedom of speech if nobody's listening.
Mm.
So, because otherwise, what are you using your freedom of speech for? To talk to the wall?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I, like, it's just so, it's heavy. It's heavy, and it wears on me as a person. It wears on me as a mother. It wears on me as a person who, while I don't look it, I'm Mexican, and it wears on me as a person who loves a lot of Black people in her life, and it's heavy. It's just, there's just a lot of, the air is very thick with arrogance, and it's tough.
I just am, as our children get older, I said this to George. George had texted me the other day and was like, "Hey, I hope you guys are well. Just checking on you." And I was like, "Good. How are you? How's the baby? How's Casey?" He's like, "We're great." He was like, new to this parenting thing, and I was like, I said, "I promise you, you're not in it alone." And I was like, we're all still new to it too. Even if we've been in the game longer, all that changes is the challenges are different. But there's no manual, there's no book, and we're all just trying to raise our little humans to be better humans than we are, right? I think that's the end game, the end goal. And I think what is the most disheartening for me personally is that I just don't, it's one of those times where it's something that as a parent, I don't think I ever expected would truly be something that you would be dealing with in order and how to approach such a horrible, horrible scenario that is starting to happen. Like you said, pretty common, common day type stuff to hear it happening. Like I said, there was just a shooting here outside of Universal. And it was either yesterday or today. I can't remember what Missy said. It was either yesterday or today. And that's how many shootings and how many days. And it's just, I don't even know. You don't even know how to approach it with your children without, you don't want them to live in fear, but you want them to be careful and cautious, obviously. And you want to be real about the situation. You trying to guard them from it or protect them from it or not talk to them about it is not doing them any favors. But it's like, how do you approach it? How do you approach it when you yourself are fucking scared and terrified for your child and for your own life and for the sake of your kids? It's a sad time that we live in. It really is. Again, I'm not somebody who tends to be on the doom and gloom side of things. I'm not a pessimist. I enjoy life. I live life. I love it, but it's happening more and more, and it's scary, and I just don't know where we go from here. And it's like, it really is terrifying. Like, where the fuck are we going to end up?
Yeah.
Where are we going to end up as a society and as a people? And it's like, what the fuck? What is this shit going to look like in 10 years?
Yeah.
When my kid is, in 8 years and 7 years, when my kid is a fucking adult out there trying to navigate life, as what we deem an adult here on his own. And it's like, oh man.
Yeah. The unknown bothers me, like, just in general. I don't like surprises. I don't like not knowing what's coming next. But this is a different level of, like,
fear.
It's maybe not a different level, but it's definitely a different kind of fear than like a surprise birthday party.
Yeah. It's a whole different ball game. Yeah.
So I was thinking about it while we were talking, and it's like, okay, so I'm not a politician. I'm not somebody who has a lot of influence. I could try, and part of this platform that you and I have is our little piece of trying, right? To change the world and to bring awareness and joy and humor and light and these realistic conversations to the world, and in hopes that it gets through to someone. And I know it's so cliche to say, but I feel like for people like you and I, for moms, for average Joe type people, if you will, that don't have a lot of influence in this world, like we have to just take those first steps at home, and we have to just hope that what we're doing with our babies is enough.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting ready to say, because the question in our heads is, what can we do? And truly, it has to be what you're doing at home. I'm not here to judge or to say or to speak on the individual who did what he did at either place, either the school or at the grocery store. But there is part of me that wonders where the disconnect was within the home, that their parents were. That's because it's so extreme. It's so extreme that there wasn't a thought that was like, so maybe something's off. And maybe there was. Like I said, I'm not judging. Maybe they were having open conversations, and it just was that child or that kid or that person was good at hiding their emotions or their feelings, and they were completely different to their families as what they were. So I guess all I can think of is and I'm only speaking from what I can do and what I can manage in my own home with my own child, is I'm an open book with my kid. We have open conversations about everything. I don't try to shelter him from anything. We're very real about things, and it's just literally, I am doing everything I can, and I know that I am blessed with a kid who's just naturally this way, but trying to teach him to be a fucking empathetic, loving human being, and making sure that I am aware of what he got going on to the best of my abilities, without breaking trust between the two of us, without trying to micromanage him to death. But there is a piece of that, because I remember how that felt when I was a teenager. LeVar's a lot younger than the way I was feeling, but I remember when my parents was always trying to be in my business, and I remember how much it bothered me. At the end of the day, what I know now is that they were doing it out of a place of love and out of a place of fucking fear. And my parents used to tell me all the time, "Oh, we'd worry about you." And I'd be like, "What is there to worry about?" And it's like, now I get it. And the world is a very different place now than it was then. And our parents are still out here worried about us. And so I just get it now. I fucking get it in a way that I didn't get it back then. And I didn't get it before. So it's just try to be, again, I'm not judging because I don't know what was going on in their houses, but it's like, just try to be in tune with your kid. If there's anything that doesn't feel right, act on it. Don't wait. Don't sit on it. Do what you got to do to manage the situation, because we may not always have the answers.
Yeah. We're limited as parents.
Yeah. And there's no manual that's a one size fits all.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to get whatever, if you don't know and you can't figure it out, or you're not sure how to handle it because it ain't anything you ever dealt with before, taking all the necessary steps to help your kid to make sure that they are good.
Yeah. And understand that, like, John and I are going through something similar with that right now, and not school shootings, but taking care of our kid and getting him kind of some help that, John and I can't provide for Oliver.
You're not able to do.
I don't know I don't know if that helps or not, or if it's going to make things better or worse. I don't know, but all I know is
try.
The step that I need to take as a parent, that John needs to take as a parent, that we are taking together as Oliver's parents, to try, because it can't hurt, and that's all I have control over.
Yep.
And And there isn't any shame in that. John and I don't feel shame over that.
Because we don't have all the answers.
No.
There are people that are trained professionals that are supposed to do that. That's what they're there for.
Yep.
I don't have all the answers for myself. I seek help for myself at 37 because I don't have all the answers for me and how to even navigate some of the shit I go through, which is multiplied by 1,000,000 compared to what children go through. So there is no shame in that. Like you said, May is Mental Health Month. There is a serious problem with mental health issues and lack of resources in this available to us, but they are there.
Yep.
And you cannot be afraid to reach out, and there is no fucking shame. People were dealing with crazy mad shit back in the day. It just wasn't talked about the same way. There was no social platform to put it on display for the world to see. Which in then turn you could reach and influence. There's sick people out here who are reaching and influencing these impressionable, vulnerable younger people that can push them to do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And it's all at everybody's fingertips. There's access to it at everybody's fingertips. The devil is in this technology. It's a blessing and a fucking curse.
Yeah.
And so there is no shame in getting help. Young, old.
Take care of yourself and take care of your kids. Like that's honestly, that is the most that we can do.
And if there's a lot of people that don't believe in, seeking professional help when there's struggles or there's problems that they don't understand, but you never know. It could work. It can impact somebody differently, whether you think it would work for you or not, or work for them or not. Because you're not sure, or you don't believe in it, or you think it's this, or you think it's that. You don't know what's going to work for your child or for your partner or the next person. You never know. There is no shame in that.
Nope. It can't hurt to try. It's not going to hurt anything to go talk to someone if you need it and if your kid needs it. And I think, if we're all talking about saving the babies, that is part of it.
Absolutely. There's too much ugliness in this world. Folks got to have an outlet. So, hopefully we here at Red Wine and Chaos can provide you a little bit of that outlet. A little bit of laughing, a little bit of venting, a little bit of drinking.
A little bit of whatever vice you're into.
A little bit of cursing. A little bit of whatever, But,
dummies.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, love on your babies. I know I'm gone right now, but I know it hit me straight in my chest earlier today when I read that. Put a lump straight in my throat. So kiss your kids and kiss your loved ones.
We took Oliver golfing today and had after school. We kind of just took a break from our daily chaos and thought, nope, we're going to go get outside and we're going to enjoy the sunshine. And we're going to do something as a family. And
nice.
We golfed today. And I went and laid in bed with Oliver for a few minutes and kind of snuggled him. Because it's been a big day. And I'm so sad and so tired of hearing about it.
Yeah. And I can't even imagine what. I just can't. I can't even finish that thought.
Nope. It's not a phone call that any parent ever wants to get.
Or should ever have to, or should ever fucking have to. So there has to be something. And I don't know what that is, but it's just one of those moments you feel defeated. There's a lot of moments that I feel defeated with people nowadays. Too many. But
so, I think take care of yourself, take care of your babies. And
love on each other, love your fellow human,
Yeah, just go do something nice for someone this week.
There you go.
Try that. Go do something nice for somebody. I don't know.
You want to feel good? They got a new season of Love on the Spectrum on Netflix. I encourage you all. If somebody needs to smile, I promise you, I encourage you to watch that show. I literally sit there and watch that show. And my face hurts because I'm going like this the whole time.
Oh my God.
The whole time. I'm just I have to stop. And it's like, And it's just the way they treat each other. Oh God, they're just not. They have a different type of genuine soul. They are not influenced by the ugly of this world. And I just wish more of us could live that way, you know?
Well, I think all the winos should try this weekend. Go do something nice for someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think. It's Memorial Day weekend too, so I don't go do something nice for somebody. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Crying out loud.
Done with this chaos. This chaos is heavy, and I know it's inevitable, but let's stop this type of chaos. This shit don't have to be inevitable, okay?
No.
Let's get a grip, folks.
No.
We're gonna switch it up. This goddamn chaos is not inevitable, huh?
I want to just go back to like poop wall chaos.
Yeah, like we don't want to talk about this shit. Get it together. This is not what we want to talk about, okay?
So true. You guys go pour yourself a glass of wine, go do something nice for somebody, and
don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Golly. How many times do we have to fucking say that?
Please don't be a
I know.
dick.
I bet all people aren't being dicks.
I'm not closing it with chaos is inevitable today. I'm not doing it.
Don't do it.
Changing it up today because this chaos is some bullshit.
So don't be a dick.
So don't be a dick and go drink some wine.
Better.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Love y'all.